Hi, I'm Rebecca. Welcome to my Simple Country Life. I was in Texas last weekend for my grandniece's first birthday party. So if y'all are watching, hello, Miss Pepper, Bree, Sandra, Bree's aunt, and Bree's grandmother. Really enjoyed visiting with y'all and getting to just spend time and holding that sweet baby. And for everyone else, bringing you some updates about stuff that I've been doing in the garden and propagating some plants that I brought home with me from Texas. So, hope you enjoy the video. I'm out here on the porch getting ready to do some propagation with some succulents and bougainvillea that was given to me by my friend Jeremy. Jason and Jeremy and Audrey were kind enough to let me park my car at their house when I went to Dallas. They live on the north side of Dallas. My sister lives south of Dallas. And so that way I didn't have to drive through Dallas traffic, and I really appreciated that. So they did a fantastic Halloween display out in the front yard, and I'll post a video of that at the end of this video. And I got to tour their backyard garden, and Jeremy gave me these cuttings from there. And we just had a really good visit. Thank you. Thank you for that person. So anyway, I'm trying out my new microphone. It's a little windy out here. I'm trying out my new microphone that was sent to me by my YouTube patron, Sister Kathy. And so she takes care of me. She didn't really like the one of the videos we did together. She really did not like the audio on it. She's like, girl, you need a microphone. So then it was in the mail and at my house. So we're trying it out. So anyway, I've got my bucket of dirt here. I did go to Menards earlier, imagine that, to get some root boost rooting hormone. So I have to open that. Oh, it is open. Okay, it's not sealed or nothing. So I got that, and I got a grow light because I'm going to try to do, well, I've already got it set up kind of. I just got to clean the glass, but I have an empty 20-gallon aquarium. So I bought a grow light, and I'm going to have a aquarium greenhouse. But it's going to be in the house, so I don't know if that really counts as a greenhouse. If it's in the house, it's not going to be outside. But anyway, I got a grow light for that. Got some growth hormone. Got some dirt down here. So I've got 6 little cups I'm going to fill up with dirt. And also, while I was at Menards, this little guy was on sale. It's a planter, but I thought he was cute. And he's going to go down by the pond since he's a frog, and the frogs like the pond. So anyway, so that's that. And I'm just kind of meandering and I don't know, talking too much, but that's okay. We're going to fill these with dirt. So I got a little bucket down here. You can't see it, but trust me. So let's put the dirt in here. Then I'm going to put the lid, and I'm going to use this for the tray. And this is just a real simple process. Of course, I did have to get on YouTube and watch videos on how to propagate bougainvillea. And it is a warm weather plant. So if these grow and thrive, they will have to come inside every year or every winter once it gets cold. Jeremy had his in hanging baskets, and so I may do that as well. So, and then I was talking to my sister when I was in Texas, and I found out she was asking questions about the bee house when I was putting it up, and I didn't really know. I thought it was cute, so I put it up. And well, the carpenter bees hibernate in it. So when they move in, they'll block the entrance with mud, and that's how you know it's occupied. But that's where they hibernate for the winter. And also found out with the bee house that I'm glad we went ahead and put it up this fall, because bats have very sensitive smell, and if it smells like humans, they're not going to want to live there. Well, not only does it smell like humans because I handled it, but I also stained it, so it had that stain smell. So it'll hopefully over the winter, all those smells and stuff will go away, and then the bats will hopefully make a home in it come spring. So I've got my 6 things of dirt. I am going to go ahead, and I had stuck these in water. Oh, that doesn't look too good. I'm going to cut that part off. I'd stuck these in water because after I got home from Texas, it rained for 2 days, 3 days. And plus I wanted to get some rooting hormone. So now that that's gotten taken care of, this probably doesn't even need the rooting hormone, but I'm going to put some on it anyway. Put a little into the cap. Put a little on the end. I'm just going to stick both of these into one pot, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. Nope, you can't. Okay, I'll hold it up after I get the second one in there. Okay, how's that one? That one looks good. Well, since that kind of sealed up a little bit, let's go ahead and make a fresh cut there. You can do better than that. Come on. All right, there we go. So fresh cut there. Dip it in the rooting powder. Stick it in the dirt. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right. So that's I'm not sure if this is sedum or if it's just a succulent, but super cute. And he said it grew. It was given to, Jeremy said a friend of his had given him some cuttings and they did real well. So, and then he gave me some cuttings. So happy to have them. And these will go inside. I already took the cactus, my prickly pear cactus. I took it inside because even though it's a native plant, I was really worried about when our temperatures get too cold and it freezing, especially since it wasn't in the ground. It was just in a pot. So I did go ahead and take it inside. Okay, so I've been watching the propagation videos. Oops, and I just threw that one completely in the floor. And what they say to do is you want to use the woody stems and you want to have some leaves on it, although these leaves look kind of whatever, but they just kind of went through and cut everything off except for, alrighty, there's a biker going by and apparently Nikki took offense at him. I'm just going to cut all this off. Why did it get dark all of a sudden? I guess because maybe the sun came out. I'm just going to nip this top part off. Okay, we've got all of that. I'm just going to go ahead and stick this in here because I want rooting hormone all the way up on that. So do that. Got the rooting hormone. Stick it in the dirt. And these are supposedly really easy to propagate, so we shall find out if they are or not. Okay, I'm going to take this one. They said you don't want the green part, you want the woody part. So I'm going to snip off the green part at the top. I'm going to take off the flowers because you don't want it growing flowers, you want it growing roots. So we're going to snip off. And these are thorny, and they are vines. They are also very, very beautiful. And hopefully, when you see that tree, there's, well, not that tree, with one of the, I'll have to hold the camera up after a while because there is a tree over the neighbor's yard that has got some good fall color on it. And I know my sister definitely asked me to send her some videos with good fall color in it. All right, we're going to do, I think, 3 in this pot. So let me do one. Okay, I already picked up the one I dropped. Okay. All right, there's a good one to go in there. I'll just snip off this stuff. You want to leave some of the green leaves for photosynthesis, from what I understand in the videos I watched. But okay, we're just snipping off all the extra, dipping it in the rooting powder. All right, and in the dirt we go. All right, so there's 3 bougainvillea starts in that pot. Let's see if we can get 3 more for another pot. Yeah, okay, so that's got quite a bit of green at the top, so we're going to cut that off because they said don't use the green part, use the woody part. So we're going to snip it there. Yeah, we'll snip it there. And it's not, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, I watched some YouTube videos. I'm doing what they said. And the one guy I watched, he left as little as, just one leaf on them. Okay, stick that in the pot. Alrighty, and then we're going to snip you off. And I hope, I don't even know, yeah, I'm done it in frame. Okay. And some of these leaves aren't looking too sporty, but hopefully it'll perk up once it's in the dirt and the rooting hormone and everything. We'll just see what happens. So I talked about the bees, I talked about the bats, and talked about setting up an aquarium in the bathroom. So now I have actually 3 aquariums in the bathroom. One has fish in it. One is going to be a quarantine tank, and one is going to be a plant nursery or greenhouse or whatever you want to call it. This one may not do. This is more green than woody, but we're going to go ahead and use it because we got it and see if it'll root. Just cutting off the flowers. I'm going to cut the stem down a little bit. Rooting hormone. Stick it in the dirt. All right. So that's the second pot. So let's see how many. I'm going to go ahead and water these with the water from the base. And the good thing about having these in the aquarium is I can put water in the bottom of the aquarium, because it says you want to keep these moist. And so I think we can do that. We'll just have water in the bottom of the aquarium. It can take as much water as it wants or needs. So let's see how many of the orange ones we can do. The orange ones dried up a little bit more than the red ones. We may only be able to get 3 of these. So, do we have any good looking leaves up here? Let's try to get 6 again. Since we got 6 of the, because the more you have, the more likely you are to have some survive. That's what I found out with the when doing the propagating the Rose of Sharon from hardwood cuttings. Is I did 8 hardwood cuttings, and I ended up with 4 new trees. That's got 1 good leaf there, and I'm going to leave. That one looks at least crispy. So, rooting powder. Stick it in the dirt. So, if you didn't get a chance to watch last week's video where my sister and I went to the Arboretum, that was a good time, and I already want to go back. Just beautiful, beautiful place. I wouldn't want to go in the hot heat of summer because I'm not about that, but I did tell my sister, because I was only there, drove down Friday and drove home Monday, that one of the gardeners I watch, Amanda, she's a Mad Gardener, lives in Wiley, Texas, which is right there around Dallas. And I told my sister, I said, I need to write down whatever, nursery she likes to go to. And the next time I'm there, maybe before I go home, I can go to, one of her favorite nurseries and look around and see what they have. I know if we ever get a chance to go to Ohio, up around Cleveland to visit my son, we'll be passing through the area where Matthew from A Southerner's Garden lives, and Nicholas from Nick's Backyard Blooms lives in Ohio. And I would love, there's one in particular that Nicholas has gone to that has a bunch of native plants, and every time he goes, I'm so jealous. And I definitely want to go by there. So I already told my husband, because we have a camper. So if we go, we'll take the camper and the dogs. And I said, we definitely on the way home, we'll be stopping by that nursery with the native plants. And I'll be doing a little shopping. So, all right, so we got 3. Nope, we just got 2 so far. So let's get 3 out of this one. Want to cut off the green part and the extra parts. Yeah, we had a good visit in Dallas. We went out to dinner Friday night at a nice Mexican restaurant. Met their neighbors, Becky and Doug. Becky, if you're watching, hi. Enjoyed visiting with you, and hope to see you again next time I'm in Texas, so I can hear about your trip that you're going on and how it went, and hopefully it goes well. But yeah, I'll have to get the name of the Mexican restaurant because it had really good guac. I mean, you could just tell it was fresh, and it was kind of chunky, and it was just good stuff. So I enjoyed that a lot. Let's see, and then we went back to the boys' house, as my sister calls them. They're like 8, 9 years younger than her, but they're the boys, Jason and Jeremy, and then Jason's mother, Audrey. And we went and we hung out and talked and had some wine and got in the hot tub. And that was my first time in a hot tub. And I will say that I enjoyed it. They had the temperature, I don't know what the outside temperature was, but they'd set it at 100 degrees, and that was just perfect. And we had enjoyed it until it started raining. And then we had to get out because being in a hot tub with thunder and lightning was not an ideal situation. So, really appreciated their hospitality. We went to brunch Saturday morning, and then brunch Saturday morning. I hope I didn't just mess up the mic. I'm not used to wearing one. Then we went to a patio furniture store that had some really nice stuff, and I was just taking pictures of everything because most of it was not in my price range. Well, let's just say pretty much all of it was not in my price range. But I'm sending pictures to my husband and telling me, okay, this is what we need for the new patio, and this is how much it cost. And on a totally unrelated note, send me the picture of front and back of your credit card. He's like, so funny. No. So anyway, he would not play along, but that's okay. I couldn't have fit it in my car to bring it home anyway. So we're almost done with this, and then I may walk all around the yard because I did do some planting and stuff without y'all. Just wanted to get stuff done, and so we went and got rocks in the rain. My husband saw, I'd wanted rocks for around the pond in some other areas, and he found a listing on Craigslist for free rocks. Well, and they look like nice rocks. Oh, good stepping stones, whatever. We get there, they're bigger than we thought they were going to be. And of course, then it starts pouring down rain. So we're out there in the rain, picking up these big, heavy rocks, putting them in the back of the truck. And of course, I didn't film that because, well, it was raining and we were on somebody else's property. So anyway, came home, just both of us, just soaking wet, covered in mud, so tired and sore. And then the next day he went and got a couple pallets and he loaded up, used the pallets and the forks on his tractor and got that up close to the end of the bed of the truck. And so we got all the rocks out onto the pallets, and they're out in the yard, and I'll show you the rocks and show you how big they are. I mean, they're huge and heavy. So here is 3 of the salmon and the other 3 of the salmon, and I just watered them. So I've got 1 thing of dirt left. I'll dump it back in to the dirt box, and then I'll take these other ones in and put them in the aquarium, and we'll do that together in a little bit. But let's go walk around the yard for a minute. Alrighty, there's one of the big piles of rocks. Here's my hand. There's big rocks, and these are smallisher rocks with my shadow. Get my shadow out of the way. So yeah, 2 pallets of rocks that we'll do something with. Heavy, heavy. And these were free. I can't, no telling how expensive they would have been to purchase. So free is always in my price range. The 4th Rose of Sharon hardwood cutting that survived got planted over here in the semicircle bed. And over here, where this trampoline is turned upside down, is where I planted the peonies. I went through all my flower pots that had the peonies in them and looked for tubers to make sure that they had some growth points on them, and they did. So all the ones with growth points got planted in here. I'm going to be flipping this trampoline over and putting wire across it to help act as a what's it called, to help hold the peonies up, and then painting this green once I get the wires on it. But this area is the Pink Peony Club, and that's what we're just going to call it for funds. These are all the buckets I emptied, and I've been putting the dirt around the pond to help fill in around it. I moved one of the boxwoods where I planted the peonies. I pulled up this boxwood. It wasn't doing too good over there, and it's not doing too good over here, but we'll see what happens. And then I divided a daylily and planted it between the log and the rocks. And then I'm pretty sure those sedges are dead that I got for $2 each on clearance. But I went ahead and threw them in the ground anyway, because why not? And then back there, I planted the 4 lance leaf coreopsis that I had grew from seed on my plant stand on the porch, on the deck. I planted, can't remember how many seeds. I planted a lance leaf coreopsis and 2 other varieties of plants, and these are the only 4 that came up, and they seem to be happy I put them in the ground without y'all. But I think that's all I did on my own without bringing you along. So I'm going to try to get some of this fall color for Kathy to see. There's not a lot of it right now, but there's more than there was when she was here. Almost forgot to bring you in and show you this part. So here I have the plants I just did in the fish tank with the light on. There's the cactus I brought in. I have this wandering dude that didn't seem to like being in dirt, so I pulled it out and I have it in water. We'll see if it likes it any better. And that's my little struggling palm, and that one's doing okay there, whatever it is. So, all right, now that's it for real. Here's the outro. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for stopping by, and y'all come back.